Hello, I am Sylvia Carrizales with TejanoNation.net, and we are here talking with Mr. Jaime DeAnda, who has exciting news, and also Mr. Mike Torres, who is part of that exciting news. And I guess you want to tell us, briefly what's going on with you?
Well,
first of all, thank you for making time for us too.
Yes, I know. We had a hard time with the microphone, trying to get it to work and everything. And first of all, thank you for making time out to Tejano Nation, everyone, to hear about the exciting news. One thing for sure is everybody's been asking, when is the CD going to come out? Is it going to happen? Or what's your plan? Or are you going to keep recording? It's been a while, I know. But the exciting news is I have joined forces with NextGen Latinx
Latinx Records. That's a long
name. And not only that, but a lot of people know Mike from La 45, and he's been around quite some time.
You're not a stranger to the industry.
No,
there you go.
Not a stranger. Tejano Nation, all the fans have been so supportive of what we're doing with La 45 and with the record label, but having Jaime come on board and be part of the family here has been just a crazy ride so far. Awesome ride, and it's right here. We're ready to show it to the world.
The CD is out, or they call them CD, the album, the music.
Volando Solo is the title of my new CD. The exciting part is we all were wondering, even, Chente Barrera, he's a part of it too. He helped produce it. He's part of the recording also. He helped sing with me, backup vocals. But as we were talking before, we thought, well, let's see. The studio is really like 45, which is a different kind of style than what I play for. And we're more Conjunto. And, we're talking about it. What's it going to sound like? We're so excited. Like, what's going to happen? What are we going to get out of it? Because, when you go to the studio, it's always unpredictable. What to play, what to record, what the fans are going to like, what they're not going to like, if they're going to enjoy. And you're always thinking, no matter what you do. Of course, we know not everyone is going to like,
You can never please everyone, right?
Yeah, that's a known fact. But the main thing is we try to stay on focus where, I've been doing this. I've been playing these songs. I've been doing wapangos, rancheras, cumbias, some of the classics. And right now it's like we were experimenting with different songs, and we did some interesting songs on this CD. The rough draft came out pretty decent, and we were listening to it. And of course we hear a song like 100 times each one because you're going over it and going over it. And we got the beat down. We got the arrangements. The guys hit the studio, Mr. John too. He's the engineer. He had a lot of patience to help us, and that's good because you really want to feel at home. You want to feel comfortable when you're in the studio. You want to be able to focus on the music where, if you like it and you can get that groove, you're thinking, man, you're okay. They should. And I love to dance a lot, and that's what we were talking about is, what song, the selection of songs that's going to get the people dancing again, that's going to remember Jaime DeAnda back then.
Yeah, because it's an interesting selection. You have 10 tracks. It's, of course, called Volando Solo, and we all know what that means, You're on your own now, and that's fine.
My first solo album
That's amazing. So 40-plus years in the industry, and this is your first, your debut solo album.
Yes, and of course, interesting to know that everybody's wondering who's going to be on the CD, who's going to record with you, the guys behind the scenes with the drummer. And I had a couple of guests also join us on drums, which was Anthony de la Garza. He did some songs with us. I had also, of course, Chente did some songs with us. And the guys that I have now, which is Stevie Ray Ravages on the bajo sexto, Mr. John Ramirez, he's from Houston, and of course Carlos Martinez on drums now. That these guys were fans. They were fans back then, they tell me. So what's exciting is, we're picking songs, so we're thinking about songs, and they're like, oh yeah, I remember that one. That'd be cool. Oh yeah, I remember this one. And I'm like, well, I don't. Help me.
Well, it was cool because, you have an interesting mix of songs. Like I said, there's 10 tracks, and I love that you included some of the, like, Pretty Baby, one that you did in the early 90s back back with the
Back in the days,
Chamacos
back in
and
the
that
days.
and it's neat to hear that again, and to hear you now and then, and
I think that throughout the album too, it was everybody knew that this was going to be the first solo album, so it had to showcase not only where he's at, but kind of where he came from, and
exactly.
building on all that. And I think a lesser band, a lesser musician might have a lot of pressure or feel a lot of pressure, like, oh man, this has got to be good. And these guys came in here and it was just easy and magic, and it all stems from Jaime, Jaime, and again, we got to give Chente Barrera a huge shout out, because he really was driving the train here and made sure everything was going on. But when it came down to it, the studio microphones are stupid. They only catch what you put in there. They don't do anything to make you sound good. These guys came in here and laid down the magic.
That's awesome.
And the final product, for anybody who's been a fan of Jaime for any amount of time, we talked about this when we signed to the label with him, that I don't think I've been to a quinceañera or wedding or anything in my entire life that I haven't heard him at some point, his accordion, his voice, and seeing the dance floor packed. And
That's
even
true. I can
even
attest to that,
with La 45, one of our first, actually our very first time in Dallas, we played with Jaime, and it was like nobody paid attention to us. As soon as he came out there, it was like, the star walked in. But it was a very cool experience to see, because before that, he was just one of the guys out there, was super kind to us, and even when he got off stage, it was just he didn't have any kind of he didn't walk around like he was the star, but he was, and he still is. And
You weren't a diva? You weren't a diva?
Not at all. And that shows in this album that he's not a diva, but he's still the man.
And he still has it, because you can just the accordion licks, just everything is, no one does it like you. And I like that you did include, some classics, like you said, some remakes, I guess, and then original songs. So the first song, Dulce para Amar, I love that one. That was with Chente. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Chente brought the song to us, and it's a classic song, of course. And when we started playing the song, we did it real simple. You try to get an idea of how you want to do the compilation. And then Chente just said, look, no, Jaime, be yourself. Just remember, let's get that old drive back. Let's get that excitement. See, and I appreciate the fact that he was willing to make me feel like, oh, okay, I can still do this. I can still, do what I love to do best. And he said, well, come on, let's do the, like you did back then, the triplets and stuff like this. And I'm saying, wait a minute, okay. So the ideas are coming to you, because it is. It's when you're recording, you're fine, practicing.
Yeah.
But the moment you hear it in the headsets, okay, ready to record, then you get
Everything
serious.
changes, huh?
You're like, okay, I can't mess up here. I can't make mistakes. You're thinking so many things. But when you hear the final product and you think, wow, it was worth the time, effort. The overnights, how long you stay here. Sometimes we're here late, and musicians, we're used to staying up late,
Yeah.
but then you get kind of burned out knowing that you're trying to make the song what the people are gonna like. The fans are gonna still say, yes, let's get it. Yes, let's buy it. Yes.
And I think they will, because you can tell that you're having fun. You do some of those little, like, I don't know what y'all yell out, like puro, not puro party, but you said puro Jaime, and I love that. I was like, oh, I remember you used to do that all the time, and it's just like you're coming back, like back to your old self and getting your confidence back, and it comes through, on the CD.
And not only that, now that we finished this CD that we're excited about, I want my fans, don't forget, go online, and it'll be on digital platform. April 5th. Yes, it hits everywhere. We're already talking about our next projects, what we have in mind. I don't want to say too much, got to be some secrets, but
exactly.
but we have a lot of things, and I feel that we had a conversation here that hey, Jaime, what plans do you want? Whatever you want to do, let's put it on the table. Let's see. Be open-minded, and just whatever, whatever ideas you have, let's do it. Let's see what happens. And it felt like, wow. Now I have to really think, because before I used to think I had all these things I wanted to do, all these plans, and back then you're usually limited, or how much you can record, or what you record, or who you can record with, or what's going on. They had a lot of control, but things and times have changed and thanks to God they are, and they're changing in a sense where the freedom is there going in the studio to feel that comfort of playing and record and think, you know what, oh, let's try this. Well, try it. Hey, well, let's try this style. Well, let's see. It's like, oh, wow. So you have that drive now even more because you're excited.
Yes.
You know, you're excited to come, be back in the studio. You're excited to do something different.
Yes.
And every time if we do something different, doesn't mean we're changing completely.
No.
It means it's a new song. It's got to sound different.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of with NextGen Latinx. That's part of our whole operating thing. When we talked to Jaime, we talked about, he knows better than anybody what his fans want to hear. And they want to hear from him. And we told him if there was a Mount Rushmore of Conjunto music, he's already on there. He's already cemented his place in history.
Yes.
So now we have the beautiful opportunity to just say, well, what do you want to do? Let's see what comes from anything you want to do. And like Jaime said, we can't say too much, but it's always going to be Jaime DeAnda, the sound, the accordion, the voice that you love. But I think people are going to be very surprised at the next projects, at what we're going to be able to do, and I know they're going to love it. But this one,
yeah, I love this one. I think this was perfect to segue into his solo career because you get a taste of his past, present, and future.
and he's never going to let that go. That was always him.
That shaped
That
him.
sound for 40 years has always been him.
Yeah, and when they say conjunto, usually you hear conjunto, you hear Tejano, what do you classify it as? But as long as you stick to the accordion, everybody's back then was called Chicano, was called Tex-Mex, the style of changing. And conjunto, you can say it today because it doesn't mean conjunto is just in the bars anymore. Yeah. Back then, you said conjunto, everybody was like, oh, he plays in the bars and the lounge.
It was like a working class music or something.
It was just known for playing in the bars like mariachis or usually in the restaurants and stuff. And back then, when we first started with my dad, it was my dad. We were called Los Chamacos de DeAnda. I will say that it was my dad, it was myself, my cousin, David DeAnda, it was my nephew, Ruben DeAnda, it was Ray, my other cousin. We were just messing around at the time and not even realizing that we were going to make something of it. And that's a good thing about today. Look, we were the youngest conjunto back then that were playing with top names, top bands. I grew up with Tony La Rosa, Ruben Bella. I mean, you're talking Miguel Saliva, Los Gilbertos. All these artists that I used to go, Ángel Flores, I would stand in front and watch them play when I was growing up at Matamoros Ballroom in Houston. And now if I wasn't watching, I would be dancing. So I danced a lot with my sisters. And that's what got me the idea of saying, wow, because watching them play was one, watching them sing and nonstop playing the accordion was another. So when I would try it, I said, wow, this is not easy. It's pretty tough.
But then you made it even harder because then you added the flair that you brought to it, the dancing, the twirling, the show, the entertainment.
We wanted to make Conjunto exciting because kids didn't really go see that. You would always say, oh, my grandma hears that music. Oh, So young kids didn't get involved. So we thought, well, to make it interesting, we thought it took a lot. Believe me, I've fallen a lot of times. I fell one time in Houston at one show. It has those trailers. Yeah. Well, there was a metal plate there, and I was dancing. I did a spin, and I went down, and the crowd was really clapping and real loud. Do it again. So that wasn't part of the show.
You should have pretended it was.
But it takes a lot of devotion, a lot of practice, a lot of, finding the right people, the right guys to make something happen. And through all the years, not realizing that, man, we were going to make a career out of it. People were really going to follow. A lot of accordion players. You
influenced a lot of the people I talked to, Sonny Salceda, Jesse Turner, just so many accordion. They mention you as their influence,
and that's a whole generation of new accordion players that haven't made their fame yet, that are still looking to him, not only just as playing, but as showman and how to build
because he added the show part to it, which is necessary to attract the younger generation.
And when COVID kicked in, it made me realize how many younger kids, because I was giving lessons through Zoom, and I had a lot of students from out of state, and from California, from Nevada, from Florida, and a lot of students that were they were emailing me. They wanted to learn how to play the accordion, and some of them were young little girls too. They were 12, 13, talented, and I was noticing this. I said, wow, they're picking up pretty fast. And at the same time, I was seeing that they had interest in this style of music, and you didn't find that, bajo sexto, and accordion, and the bass and drums, and I thought that's good. So look how many artists are today that I followed back then, and then to hear them say that about me today, I'm very honored and very blessed, and I really thank the man upstairs for giving each and every one of us the talent that we could share with our fans. And music is a beautiful thing for people to enjoy.
Yes.
When they come to the shows, that's what we're supposed to do, is entertain them.
It takes you away from your problems. You want to go, you want to dance, you want to forget, and then that's what you provide, and that's so important.
And it's like they say, you don't take your problems to work. So when we go on stage, it's like we just clocked in. It's time to entertain, no matter what. I tell the guys, let's go up there, just do your best. And a lot of times back then, too, we thought, drinking and playing was cool, and this and that. Well, you're young, you're growing up.
That's part of life,
But we thought it was okay to do it a lot. And now that my new guys that I have with me, well, Stevie and them, they don't drink. They don't drink, so it made it more of a challenge. So realizing now, all through the years, we're the entertainers. The people that pay to come to see the show, they paid. I started realizing and saying, well, if we're going to be getting drunk, then maybe we shouldn't be on stage. We should be paying at the door, and because it's for them. It's for them. And if they're going to have a good time and they're going to enjoy it, they're going to remember, and they're going to want to. That's why we're back on schedule again. I'm back in the studio again. I want to thank Mike Torres. Thank you for the faith and and believing, and of course Chente. But it also is exciting. We're doing a lot of things together. John, that did the engineering, he had a tough challenge. He said, no, this is going to be interesting. And believe me, I hear the CD over and over and over and over, and I love what I hear.
That's good. Yeah. And is there any other song that you want to mention or bring up? I know you have a really cool, I guess it's a tribute kind of like to Ruben Vela, the Ruben Vela special.
Too. Yes. Of course, I like doing little potpourris. Yes. I've known from that. And we were in the studio. We did that here. We started thinking, who can we do another potpourri about? And Chente goes, well, you always do this one or this part, you do something like this. What about Rumbera, And if you hear it, you're going to hear his voice in there. He says something like, échale chiquitita, and stuff like that from the past that Rumbera was known for. And, we did a little potpourri of Rumbera. It's got 2 songs, and it's got a polka at the end. I'll tell you what, you got to buy the CD. I'm sure you're going to enjoy
there's
it.
A surprise. We won't mention another guest who appears, but he's very famous, and I love him. And his name starts with a B, but but I don't want to ruin any surprise. You have to download it. You can download it at the NextGen Latino Records site.
And JaimeDeAnda.com.
And on JaimeDeAnda.com. So you don't have to wait till April 5th. You can get it today if you want to, like I did.
And this special guest, you're right, he was at the very end.
I was so happy to hear from him. Yes.
Who? I'm looking to who? And Darlene's like, you know who? I said, no, I know who. And you're saying it right now, but, yeah.
Hello, how could you forget? Yeah, that's a major guest star on your...
Well, he's going to take over again. You'll see.
Yes,
he's a lot of fun.
He's a star in his own right.
Yeah. Jaime DeAnda, Volando Solo is my latest CD right now. Buy it now. Enjoy it.
And I think you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to say, if you haven't seen Jaime live recently, all his new dates his tour dates are on his website. And we got to work with him on the Tejanos in Paradise cruise back in January. And then we had a great time, but we also got to see his band recently over the last, year or so that we've been starting to work on this project. And I know it's very cliche to say better than ever, but I think everybody's waiting to see it. Does he still have it? Was it him? Is it him that commands that stage and does that sound? And I guarantee you go see him, you're gonna see what we've seen, and it's him. He's the man. And this album is such a great representation of not only Jaime DeAnda, but of what it means to be a Conjunto musician, a Conjunto record, a Tejano record. It's all here. You're going to love it. go buy it. Right?
Even the
It's
critics
awesome.
and stuff that we got to say
Yeah.
thanks to. And
Yeah, I wanted to mention that too because I downloaded the CD, so I got everything digitally. I was reading through the CD liner notes, and I, saw that you sent a special message to, and I'm trying to bring it up here with my phone, but I'm old now, so I need readers. But you do acknowledge, of course, your former bandmates. For the experiences, you said these are your words, for the experiences and collaborations we shared throughout the years. The creative energy was invaluable, contributing to the artist that I've become. And so I thought that, I don't know, again, I do want to get into your personal business, but I thought that was very gracious of you. Who were you directing that to? Just to all,
Well, it takes more than one person, of course, to be on stage to make it happen. And to me, throughout the years, that's what I said when I first started with my dad, with all of us at the beginning. So many musicians I've experienced with, they're here today, gone tomorrow, or they'll stay, or they won't, or they'll like it or not. You have too many people that have too many ideas and things, and it's hard to please and make everybody happy on stage. And to have a team stick with you for so long, it's good to know that things sometimes will last like everything else. Quite some time. Things have to change. And only the man upstairs can say why. And if it's a good thing, then it's a good thing. I appreciate that I was able to have that experience for so many years and still, whatever I've gone through, be here today and still experiment with my guys today. I like that they're giving me that energy again to go on stage and to make the fans feel, man, we got to go see him. I got to go enjoy it. Through all the years, he can still do his best. And that's what I try to do.
And it shows in this CD. And again, I just thought that was neat and nice of you. Only you and your bandmates and people involved know, why you split. But I still think, when you hear Jaime DeAnda, I automatically Los Chamacos is pops up in my head too, because the two names are synonymous to me.
I was a kid once.
It was you were the star. I mean, it's not. I know you would never say that because you're too humble, but.
He is. He won't say it, but I told him I'll say it for you.
I will too. I mean,
but it is, the history that he has with so many people. It's beautiful, and that's all. Everybody has their place in history, and there's room for everybody to continue to do what they're doing. But this project is showing that yes, he was doing what he did before, but now this is where he's at, and now going forward, he's gonna be able to show his talent, his voice, his songs, all these things that he's been doing all this time anyway, and now it's just getting to do it with a new set of friends and a new set of musicians.
And, I'm always doing rancheras, huapangos, I did a bolero in this album. I had a bolero that I didn't really think.
Mucho corazón.
Yeah, track number 9.
That is a nice one.
I got to try to do something different because I felt we haven't done something like that. Even Cynthia said that. You know what's missing? I said, what? We had 9 tracks down. She goes, you're missing a bolero. I said, well, what? Because I think that would be the final touch. I said, we need to try it. We were in here, we tried it several times, couple of times, different ones, we looked for it. And this one, I think was really, really different, and I liked it. I liked it very much. So wait till you hear it.
It has a lot of different emotions. It has upbeat. It has
Yes.
the romantic. It has everything.
And we've been so proud of the record, just as the studio and the label. We have a bunch of people that come through working on other things. We're always like, well, hey, listen to the new Jaime stuff that we did, and the bolero that we've been. Anytime we show anybody, they're like, man, we've never heard Jaime like that before, and that's another part of what we're talking about and what he's doing on this record is, yes, it's still the sound you love. And the Jaime, but he's also giving you more than what you're expecting, and
Always
you're getting
evolving.
you're getting the evolved version of Jaime DeAnda, and now he's showing off things that you didn't know that he could do, or you didn't know that he had in him, and he does, and there's a lot more of that to come.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's now an artist on your label,
Yes.
just so you
Yes,
understand
ma'am.
it, right?
Yes,
And
We joined forces.
you're
Yes.
joining forces, and so that's
Well,
good.
the label, we when we talked about it too, we tell everybody when they come in to work with us, it's a label, but labels don't exist in the same way they used to. It is joining forces. It's a partnership. It's how can we help you make what you want to make, and what can we do to be a part of your legacy, you know. And I make the joke that John Ontiveros, my partner, who's the engineer here, you know, we just did this so we could work with our heroes and work with our favorite people. But part of that is true, you know, to be able to work with musicians that we've idolized for all these years, like Jaime, you know, to be able to sit there with him and say, hey, what about this? What about this? Those are moments that are just going to be priceless for the rest of our lives. But for fans, we also come at it as a way to say, well, we know this is what we would want to hear from you. So what if we did this? And all that collaboration is what brings us to join forces and make the kind of albums like this. But this one being the first one out of the can with Jaime, we're just beyond proud of how this came out, and we are so excited for everybody to hear it. So make sure you follow him on social media too, and leave a comment. Let him know what you think.
Yes, please enjoy it.
Do you want to say anything else to the fans? Do you want to, like I had mentioned to you before when we were off camera, but you know, I don't want to end on a negative note, but I know there are so many people that just, I feel like they seem personally hurt, you know, that you left Los Chamacos. Like, it was almost like, I feel like they thought they were related to you, like they got the divorce. I don't know. Well, you know, but what do you want to say to people that are, you know, still like a little upset about you, or still?
I really appreciate those that still know that life goes on. Like when you get a divorce, you move on.
Nobody knows what happens except the people involved. Yeah.
Right. True. But for any reason, maybe we should just leave it in God's hands, because He's the one that pretty much, if you believe and have faith, and you try to look at the good things and look for the better things, and whatever happens, I wish everyone well. I'd say nothing, like I said on the CD. I parted ways from everyone else, and if that was meant to be, then I feel it was maybe a blessing out of, you know, in disguise.
Yeah, nothing lasts forever. Y'all had a good run.
Sure. And for my fans out there that were heartbroken and stuff, it's just like when I see my favorite shows, and you know, and then you see different actors, you think, oh no, why did they do that? Like, what happened? It's not the same. But you know what? They continue. They continue to do what they love to do. And of course, and that's what I was doing. And I figured, well, it's hard. It's hard to please people in a way where music is a beautiful thing, and it's an experience, and it's something that, wow, what do you do next? What can you do next to let them people know that, okay, if they're still going to listen to you, they're still going to support you. I really appreciate the support for so many years. Thank you for believing and having faith, like Mike and everybody here at NextGen Latinx. Latinx. You see?
I'll get it right in the article too.
Latinx, I got it now.
And what is this? Is it available, or is this just to promote it?
This is just to promote it, but for anybody in San Antonio, it's available at Janie's Record Shop and at Del Bravo Record Shop. And anywhere else around the country, check in with your local record shop. We partnered with a new company called Tejano that's distributing the record. And if they don't have it at your favorite record store, make sure they get in touch with either us at nextgenlatinx.com or tejadisc.com, and we'll make sure they get it that way. Everybody, I know a lot of people still want to see it and hold it and look at it before you buy it.
I do like to hold the CD, you know, because I like to have it, but I downloaded it because I wanted it right now.
And if you get one, we're not going to show you because there's a surprise inside. You open it up, and it's
on
really
my phone
cool.
too.
Yes.
But
So it's really cool.
Also for the bands that some are saying that, well, you know, I already purchased it, haven't gotten it yet, and you know, they're still packing, they're still ordering. Believe me, you'll get yours soon. But I appreciate the support, appreciate buying it, and please keep supporting the bands, keep supporting myself, Jaime DeAnda, my guys, and everything else, because that gives us more and more time to say, let's keep recording.
That's what we want from you. So, and if you really want it now, just download it like I did. You'll get it within seconds. I literally got it within seconds.
Yes.
And then also
NextGenLatinx.com. You can see all the catalog of all the artists we have, including La 45's new record that's out. We're going to be working on a few new records that are coming out the rest of this year. And depending on how crazy we feel, you know, Jaime's next record might be here sooner than you think.
I'm excited for that already. I can't wait.
Start things already in the studio, but it's exciting. But thank you, Sylvia, everyone at Tejano Nation, for everything, for your support for so many years. And I appreciate the fans. Don't forget, Jaime DeAnda, Volando Solo is my latest CD.